Deuce and Mo, they tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the pod, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the theme song. Do it for Deuce and Mo.
We
Deuce and Mo.
Happy Sunday night. Second night of a back-to-back. And the Kings are not the worst team in franchise history after getting their 18th win. Screw you, 17-win Kings.
What up, Deuce?
Hey.
Hey, Morgan.
What up?
I know, Jeb.
I'm rooting for y'all.
What do we know?
Hey, he's saying, Deuce, you have to put a disclaimer that you're not, like, excited about the win, but you also don't want to not be excited about the win because a lot of people are going to be mad either way. Oh, man,
Wow,
this
Jeb
year
said all that.
is fun. We are live on a Sunday night to talk some NBA basketball, talk about the Kings, and what we're all kind of feeling as of late, which is lottery anxiety.
Lottery anxiety. That's where we're at.
Yes.
It's a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Like, I should probably sign up for a little therapy.
Oh, that's cool that you could just dip into therapy when you want. You know, some of us are scheduled every other week and we're just chipping away, working ourselves. We don't just pop in and think, oh, a little 3-session thing is going to solve all the issues. What is wrong with you? Is mental health a joke to you, Morgan? Do you think this is just a game? Is it like going to the gym once a week? You think you're going to get better mentally because of that? Look at the work I'm putting in and I'm not okay. I go twice a month, twice a month, yeah. I need to go 4 times a month.
Can I take some of your sessions?
We've got lottery
Anxiety. Lottery anxiety.
How about DeMar DeRozan? 107 points the last 3 games. Damn. First team all bucket
He's
getter.
a bucket. He's a bucket.
Appreciate you guys for being here.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Appreciate you guys. If you haven't done it yet, hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Yeah, no, we are good.
We'll talk about the good tonight. And
Yes.
I'll say this before we start the podcast.
Yeah.
Morgan always accuses me of overanalyzing the podcast. But you know what? I'm a sicko, so I think about things.
I don't accuse you of that.
oh, did we do this enough? The one thing I walked away with, and I felt it this morning when I was rewatching the Kings-Clippers game this morning,
Weird.
was that we did not give enough love to last night.
To the good of the game of last night.
Yes.
And when we say that, it wasn't about giving them love. It was about doing what we love most, and that it was analyzing the possessions we did love so much. And there were so many good possessions, like so many pure good basketball possessions by the Kings last night. But we were overwhelmed by so many lottery anxiety.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's okay, it's fair. And as soon as you said that to me though today, I said, you're not wrong. Like, I do wish that we broke down some of those plays last night, because even now tonight, it was like there was still good basketball being played, but like last night, it was pure and beautiful. So many more possessions to break down than there was even tonight. So it's about making sure, no matter what the big picture is and all the other shit, to make sure you still talk about what you love, even if it's with the shitty team.
Acknowledge the good even during the tough times.
Yes.
There could be some good on the basketball floor.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to hit all the angles tonight. Sound good? As I mentioned, hit thumbs up and subscribe. All this is help our channel grow. Appreciate the sickos for being here tonight, including Jesse James, Bad News, Sour Grapes, Adam and Lincoln. What's up, Pablo? And of course, Jordy, who says the basketball gods reward ethical behavior and fog. Relaxing the blacks in the building. What's up, Banta? See life, bro. Cats. Thank you so much, Seattle Sonic and Jimmy. Let's give you guys.
Give me a hell yeah.
A hell yeah.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Sip.
I'll take a little sip of that.
All right, Deuce and Mo. We're coming down 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Oh, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast. Recording this on the Sunday night. Kings back on the home floor after a win against the Clippers last night that seemed improbable. They were taking on a Utah Jazz team. Scratch it out. The Salt Lake City Stars tonight.
Facts.
Yeah, Utah was in town, and they did not really play anybody. In fact, there was a lot of young guys or G Leaguers down the stretch because they've got a one-track mind, and that is May's NBA Draft Lottery. Meanwhile, Sacramento, they were shorthanded too. No Russell Westbrook tonight. Still no Devin Carter, Malik Monk, and all the guys who have been out are still out. Kings had just 8 players, but the one player they did have is a certified bucket getter, DeMar DeRozan, scoring on everybody. Had 41 points tonight, along with double-digit assists, and in the last 3 games, he has 107 points on 68% shooting.
Damn.
So DeMar DeRozan with his big night, that means a Kings win. They beat the Utah Jazz 116-111. They now improve to 18-51 on the season in their last 11 games. 6-5.
Really
this
good.
podcast, as always, presented by our friends at Santivo Vineyards and Winery. I'm Juice Mason. That's Morgan Reagan, and we're just being real like everybody. We're all feeling the lottery anxiety. How are you?
Anxious.
Last night when I asked you this, it was like, I can't even talk. I don't know. I'm good. That's what it sounded like. That's,
You want me to show you what you're like?
Sure.
I don't have anything.
You mean balanced? Like
you literally
just even approach.
Oh my God. Okay.
Smooth, entertaining, funny, charming.
You and
handsome.
I, none of those things. You and I had some really good conversations after last night's game.
Yeah.
And then even after tonight's game, I think of just where we are at with reality. And
I'm going to tell you the reality right now. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Oh.
Here's the reality of the
Okay.
situation.
Yeah.
I have been enlightened tonight.
oh,
Blocked by Bomba on Twitter. Put it out perfect. The Sacramento Kings are 6-5 since Killian Hayes has been on the team. Killian Hayes is the reason the Kings are winning games. Tonight, he got the start in this one. He had 8 assists in his stretch with the Sacramento Kings, 41 assists, 10 turnovers. The plus minus is plus with him on the floor, and the Kings are 6-5. That's reality.
that's reality. That's hard for me to say. But yes, it is.
I just thought that was hilarious.
That is
I'm like,
hilarious.
what? Wait,
I'm like,
Killian Hayes-
well, something we didn't talk about. I'm like, you're throwing that one at me. And I'm like, oh my God, that is funny. And he played really well from the start of the game tonight.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about the game first?
I want to talk about your reality. I cut you off just to
Okay.
highlight the funniness of that. We'll talk about Killian Hayes too later.
Okay,
Later,
yeah,
later,
because
later.
there's obviously good stuff to talk about with tonight's game and everything. I think a lot of the reality that you and I have kind of come to, I don't even want to say closure with or anything, because it's like we're human and you're allowed to have different emotions one day and then another day. But
1 minute to the next minute.
1 minute to the next minute, it could be anything.
1 second to the next.
Any other? You want to cut it down even a little bit more?
1 millisecond to the next.
Okay,
millisecond.
and we're done.
Thank you.
So anyway, what we were saying after tonight's win, and even texting during the Kings winning, was like, okay, acceptance. Like, this is reality. And the Kings, they're going to win games down the stretch. And something that you and I just talked about that I thought was really interesting. We're like, the Sacramento Kings are playing a team tonight in the Utah Jazz that are literally unethically losing, doing everything you can to be disrespectful to the game of basketball, all the different things, while the Kings are ethically losing this season, being the bad team, going through all the challenges, putting us through all the fucking challenges.
They are winning games in March when everyone is telling them not to win.
Yes.
They're playing their vets still.
Yep.
DeMar is playing heavy minutes. They are doing things what should be the right way, the moral way, the ethical way.
Yes.
But unfortunately, there's nothing that matters when it comes to the lottery, right? They do not care about you doing it ethically or morally.
And that was the funny thing that we got to was they're doing everything right. Wow. You know, like maybe the basketball gods will shine a light on them and show a little bit of luck. But at the end of the day, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. And I feel that way as we see all these other teams just do it so unethical. And I'm like, nice guys finished last. Like, I want to do that. But at the same time, you take a few steps back and you go, hey, at least it's a lottery and there's still a chance. And so although this organization wants to go in the direction that way, ethically, make the NBA happy, whatever the hell it is about them that they want to play DeMar DeRozan 40 minutes a night, whatever it is. Okay, I'm accepting it, but God damn it, I am praying to those basketball gods that they can like reward us.
Yeah.
The luck.
Lottery
basically.
anxiety is real. And when you think about
So
someone like
real.
DeMar DeRozan's on a tear right now.
Yes,
he is. He's on fire. And what DeMar did tonight, some go, oh my God, why is DeMar taking 21 shots and getting to the free throw line so much? I've maintained this all year watching DeMar DeRozan play basketball. I think more times than not, he makes the right basketball play. And tonight, for him, with the Kings having 8 players, the right basketball play was, oh, I've got this guy who 2 weeks ago was in the G League on me. I got this guy who's making his first NBA start. I got this guy who's playing more minutes than he ever has in the NBA. These guys are on me. I like this one-on-one matchup. I'm going to go get buckets. He did his job. And when that double came, he got off of it, and he was dropping dimes left and right. DeMar DeRozan is just playing basketball, okay? DeMar DeRozan is doing his thing, 41 points tonight. We mentioned 107 points. I don't know why I keep saying 107 points. I usually say 107. Anyway, 107 points on 39 of 57 shooting, 68%. The reality, and this is the anxiousness coming in, right, is if we get to May, and I believe that's Mother's Day, the NBA draft lottery, and the Kings are picking 7th or 8th, it's literally going to be because they played DeMar DeRozan so many minutes. He is a good basketball player. He's a bucket getter. And when you're playing, especially some of these teams now in the West that are losing left and right, whether it's Utah, you think about Memphis and Dallas and, coming up on the East, Brooklyn a couple of times. You played Indiana. When you play these guys who are starting someone like Jalen Slauson started tonight for Indiana, right? Like when you start playing teams like this, he's going to get buckets. He's going to go out and do his job. How do you limit that? He wants to play. Well, then you don't play him as many minutes. You play him tonight. You go, hey, DeMar, you're 22 minutes. Whatever you do in those 22 minutes, go do your thing. But ultimately, there's no one to be mad at but yourself if the Kings end up picking 8th because it was preventable in some ways.
Yeah. Absolutely in some ways. And I think that's where a lot of the frustrations come in while it is just so complex because like I also am watching this future Hall of Famer in a Kings uniform just be a bucket, a walking bucket out there. And you're like, my God, does it look beautiful at times? And then especially when he ends up with 11 assists as well, because players have been so much smarter and they're moving without the basketball and understanding how to play with DeMar DeRozan. But you're exactly right. Like if it comes down to it and the Kings end up picking 7th, 8th, wherever it is in that top 10 and it doesn't end up being top 5, it's going to feel like, wait, why did we suffer for the entire season ethically, suffered ethically the entire season to just figure it out late in March when you're not supposed to figure it out and you're supposed to play the game off the court like the other teams. But that's the direction that this organization and this team is going in. And I can't do anything about it. And so that's why I sit here today being like, I'm accepting it. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be okay all the time, but I'm just trying to accept it because it's like you said, if you get pre-mad about anything, you're just going to honestly be in a bad place forever. And it's a lottery at the end of the day. So you can only hope that even with them doing things the right way, that it can still lead in a good direction.
The Kings now have the 4th worst record in the NBA. They are sitting at 18-51. And just so you guys know, these numbers fluctuate, and it's a lot of numbers I'm going to throw at you right now. Just so you know, if the lottery was today, which breaking news, it's not. Okay, good news. With the 4th worst record, you have the best odds of landing the number 6 pick. There's a 25.7% chance that you will land the 6th pick.
Okay.
The next best odds would be picking 7th. 16.7% chance. The worst case scenario would be picking 8th, but that's just 2%. Now, on the positive side, if you have the 4th worst record, you still have a 12.5% chance at 1, a 12.2% chance at 2, an 11.89% chance at 3, and 11.4% chance at 4. So, we go over all the numbers, and really all we're talking about is the same shit. It's like if you're finishing 4th, you just could drop further. You still have some good odds to move up. And that, to your point, is like, hey, it is what it is. We're all going to feel anxiety until the draft lottery actually happens on Mother's Day, and we'll be ready for it, and we'll figure it out then. But at the moment, you're just putting yourself in a position to potentially drop further down. Even with that said, we may look back 3 years from now, and I already know some of the tanking people, you're coping, dude, you're coping. No, I'm not. I'm just talking in reality, okay? The best player in the draft could be picked 7th. It could be picked 8th. We don't know.
Well,
it's a really good draft.
And let's be real, too. The Jazz had the best odds last year to get the number 1 pick.
And they dropped to 5.
And they dropped to 5. And the year before, it happened as well.
Now, with that said, the pushback on that would be, I want to be in that spot, right?
Yeah.
Just to be clear, if you have the worst record in the NBA, the best odds are that you are picking 5. That's the thing with that. So,
yeah. And I think too, since the draft lottery lands on Mother's Day, everyone just be like fantastic to your mothers, like from right now all the way to Mother's Day.
I will not be.
Oh God.
She's dead.
Okay.
She died over the summer when I was on vacation.
Oh, dear God. Okay. Well, rest in peace. So, okay.
She's doing well down there. It's fine.
Down there. You are such a dick. But everyone but Deuce, be extra kind and put out the good energy towards your mothers. And maybe with all this good energy, ethical basketball happening, we get to the draft lottery day, Mother's Day in Sacramento, and there's just good vibes. I don't know. I could cry.
Yeah. But that's
lottery anxiety.
It's so funny. Yeah. You laugh so you don't cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, that's where it's at. And I know some people in the chat were saying, "Hey, can you just do a quick tankathon lottery simulator?" And I go, "Yes, we can." Okay, so let me bring it here. We'll go sim lottery. Okay. Kings picking 6. They moved down 2 spots.
I mean,
but you never go on the first one unless it's great, right? So let's just do it one more time.
Unless it's great.
Or let's reset it.
Okay.
That was just a practice time.
Yeah, for sure.
This one is the official
for real.
one. This
Whatever
one
happens.
is for real.
Think about being good to your mother.
Go to 3.
Okay.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
We'll take you. Who's it going to be?
Who's it gonna be?
Cam Boozer, Darren Peterson,
God.
Caleb Wilson.
Oh my God, that's where Darren Peterson's going to land. And then you're just in a position where it's like, well, we have to take Darren Peterson, right?
Yeah.
What a great
My
year.
goodness.
It's all good.
Yep.
It's all good. I don't
In
even
the live
know.
chat, See Life Bro says maybe Deuce should bump that therapy up to 4 times a month. Tabasco Rain says, I know it's too much to ask, but can't the Kings do something smart for once? Yeah. I mean, I just have to hope for the best. I think we've all been pretty clear this whole year. I think the amount of hours that we have talked about lineups and minutes and hey, maybe play the young guys more here. It's, we're talking like the first month of the season.
Yep.
And kind of seeing where this season was headed. It's like, okay, where's the pivot happen? And the reality is, I think if the Kings were healthy this year, relatively, let's say Levine and Keegan and Sabonis didn't have surgeries. And by the way, I had another guy,
Drew Eubanks.
Drew Eubanks is having surgery.
Yep, season ending.
My goodness. If that team was relatively healthy this year, you're probably winning like 28, 30 games.
Yeah, 28.
Either
Still,
way,
it's-
you're like in a way different spot.
Uh-huh.
And so while all these other teams in the West and the East, the bottom of the East, are like literally playing lineups, it's honestly, it's embarrassing for the game, okay? Like tonight, I'm looking at Utah's lineup at one point. 2:15 to go in the third quarter. They are playing Blake Hinson, been a G League guy. They're playing Anderson Garcia, who made his first ever NBA start. It's his third NBA game, Morgan. He played 43 minutes tonight, okay? They had Elijah Harkless, who's had a great year in the G League.
Yep.
They had Mbang in there, who is on a 10-day, and Oscar Shibwe, who's been an absolute monster for Salt Lake City Stars in the G League the last couple of years. My point is, those guys have more experience this season in the G League than they do in the NBA, and they've got 5 of those guys out there in a close game in the third quarter. Like, they had even Shvi Mikhailuk on their bench tonight. He was active, did not play. They had Kevin Love active. He did not play. And that's not even adding on Filipowski, who did not play because he was getting rest. Keontae George, who's out due to injury, legit. Ace Bailey, legit injury. And then, Markkanen's been out because he got banged up. Nurkic had the season-ending surgery. But these teams have pivoted. The Pacers, they've kind of pivoted. And what they do is they're just like, all right, we're going to sit some of our guys, and the guys we do play, the vets we do play, are just going to be capped with their minutes. And unfortunately, the league is not doing anything about this. Because if the league truly cared, if the league really cared, it wouldn't be about fining Utah $500,000 or Indiana $100,000. That money is significant to all of us. Okay,
Yeah.
obviously we'd be like, oh my God, what would we do?
I wouldn't be able to
We're
live.
in trouble here. But to an NBA team, that's nothing. And I'm not trying to even act like 500 is not nothing for an NBA team. But when you are a team that's owned by a billionaire, if you're finding my organization $500K, it's worth it to me if I get a top 4 pick.
Yep.
If I get the number 1 pick and you find me 500,000
I'm
or
going to
100,000,
make millions of just that first year
that
of
could be
selling merch and
franchise
everything.
altering.
Yep.
If the league was truly serious, which I think they'll try to be serious after this year about it, they would go, hey, we are fining the Utah Jazz or the Washington Wizards or the Indiana Pacers $5 million, $10 million, and we're taking away this pick. Or someone in our chat, Chip, mentioned this earlier. Hey, your lottery percentage is going down. Your odds are going down. Like, the punishments would have to be real. But this whole slapping on the wrist, like, hey, you don't do that. You don't sit guys who aren't healthy or who are healthy.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything.
I know.
And then meanwhile, here we are in Sacramento where it's like, we are doing the right thing, but then everybody's pissed about it because it's actually not the right thing based on the system.
Because if
You know
you're
what I mean?
not cheating, You are not trying. Remember, kids, not cheating, not trying. No.
Like,
and that's what
it sucks because if anything, honestly, the Kings should be commended for no, we're just playing it out.
They should be getting all the money that all these teams are getting fined. They should get all the millions.
No, we don't care about that.
They should get all the percentage points that they're losing.
Yes.
Yes.
They should take away. Their odds should increase for what they're doing, and maybe that ends up being the system that next year they're freezing the lottery odds. After the All-Star break, and then the teams in the lottery, the wins that they get from there, that actually helps them down the stretch. But that's the system we're in, and that's what's so infuriating. This conversation just gives you lottery anxiety. And then we start getting off track talking about this as opposed to, hey, some of the good things that happened tonight. Although, I gotta be honest, tonight's game was so much different than last night's game.
I know.
I mean, hell, this was even a close game. 116-111, the final score against a team that was playing inexperienced players who spent most of the year in the G League. And I'm not even I don't want to call them G Leaguers because I feel like that's demeaning. These guys are all talented NBA players. When you're at this level, you've got skill and it's impressive. But you're also throwing them out there against the elite of the elite talent in the league, right?
Yeah, it's just, again, it's going to be different, especially when they're not playing with other teammates that are established in the league. And that's why when the Kings get some of these wins, even like last night, it's because they do have a Russ and DeMar on the floor. And when you have players that have been able to have the experience, plus some of the young players get to work with them and learn from them, it's going to make all the difference. You saw it in a team like the Utah Jazz tonight, who still just played hard all the way to the end. I mean, that was something you and I were texting about, was like, this team, it's not just like, oh, the Kings are making mistakes. It's like they are playing so hard, and I could appreciate that on so many different levels. You did also text me at one point saying Cody Williams is going to get taken out because he's making too many shots. But he didn't. He got to play to the end.
He did play 38 minutes, and he had a career night. He had 34 points, surpassing his career high from the other night of 19 points against Portland. But I'm looking at the minutes played tonight. Bez Mbang tonight. You guys have never heard of him, and that's okay. He ended up playing 32 minutes off the bench. He's on a 10-day contract. I mentioned Anderson Garcia earlier. He's recently just picked up by the Utah Jazz. He had been playing for the Mexico City Capitanes in the G League. He made his first NBA start tonight. He was 1 of 7, 43 minutes. Elijah Harkless, who's been balling in the G League, just under 41 minutes tonight. That is crazy. That is insane.
And I'm so happy for some of these guys that are getting these opportunities to shine on an NBA floor.
Yes.
Be in front of different eyeballs. That it's not like everyone's always checking out the G League talent, which I think it's such a miss when you're not seeing GMs and everyone else go evaluate some of the talent around the G League. I mean, that's where you can find some great 10 days and even just some players that are in situations and misunderstood. So yeah, to see them have the game that they had tonight and the minutes that they had, I think ultimately though, what you're talking about is when you look at Utah, it's so obvious. It's like in your face obvious, especially when you're looking at the scouting report before the game and you're seeing Filipowski is out due to rest when they didn't fucking play the night before. Like, get out. Get out.
Let's get to some of the comments in the chat. It's been a mixed bag. And I also put a poll question out. Are you suffering from lottery anxiety? 65% of the people voted saying yes, we might pick 8th. 35% saying no. Namaste.
Ooh, namaste. Love that.
Scout Recycler says, having to endure a 16-game losing streak and the Kings still pick 7 sucks. Well, lottery hasn't happened.
I know.
Right? James says, you can't be mad at DeMar for playing well, crying emoji. No, I mean, DeMar's on a heater right now.
Yeah.
The only thing that would stop DeMar DeRozan would be if Doug Christie was like, hey, sorry, man. You're sitting tonight. Or, hey, you're playing 20 minutes. That's the only thing.
And there's just too much respect and love there, not only between them, but I think just for them and how much they love the game. And they're like, screw whatever's happening this season. Like, no, you don't even, like, I don't think they think like this. I don't think they think, we don't know if we're going to be back next season or whatever else. I don't think Doug thinks like that, or DeMar's like, for sure knows exactly what's going to happen next year. Like thinking, hey, this is the contract. I'm here as of right now, But my point to that is they're not thinking about that. They're just thinking about what they want to do right then and there, and that's to win basketball games.
Yes. And if you could take a step back, and I know, by the way, this is hard for some to even acknowledge these players as human beings at times, right? My goodness. I'm genuinely happy for the group of individuals who are out there playing every night, who have had to deal with like a lot of bad shit this season, right? At times you're seeing some growth from the young guys. What Precious Acuff has been doing as of late, had another big game, 20 points, 11 rebounds. Like, to see them happy after the game, I'm like, dude, good for those guys. They don't care about the lottery. They're not worried about that. Some of these guys are fighting for future jobs. Someone like Daquan Plowden, right? Killian Hayes. Others are fighting to have a spot in the league. Precious probably trying to fight for a long-term deal, whether it's here in Sacramento or elsewhere. Other guys just trying to grow their games, right? Someone like DeMar DeRozan wants to have success, and he's at the twilight. Like, he's almost at the end of the career. He wants to have fun out there. And so on a night like tonight, where people are feeling the lottery anxiousness, I read Reddit a lot. I'm on social media. I'm in our Discord. Like, there's a huge portion of the fan base that they're pissed.
Yeah,
they're pissed
I
right
know.
now. There's others who probably don't go online and talk about this. Maybe they're just more balanced in life. Who are probably like, I'll just see what plays out. It's a lottery, you know? But some people are upset. They're going to be the loudest ones out there too. And I understand that. I will say, for those actual guys, like, even after, like, Precious put on the sunglasses, those guys are like, light the beam. They're into it. And it's interesting to see a group still into it in this way this late in the year when things have not been good for them for 95% of the season.
No. And it's, I mean, you can feel however you want to feel about it. This is just my opinion on it. I mean, for people that have played basketball their whole life, being a part of a team, when you have those moments or you have that feeling, there's nothing like it. I mean, that's what makes sports or just team things so special. And so, like, for these grown men in an 18-win season to do these type of things, that is what a sport like basketball is all about, is that joy. Now, as fans, you can still feel whatever way that you want to feel, if it frustrates you or whatever else. But, like, take a step back and be human for a second in some of those moments of just, like, what it means to them when they're playing basketball the right way and what that can do for your mental state just as an athlete.
If you want some good news,
sure. What's the good news?
I'm just waiting. Here's one thing I need to work on in life. Every time I'm about to, like, say something lately on this podcast, I'm immediately go, before I say this, I'm thinking about how someone in the chat's about to react. Go, cope, idiot.
You
or
can't
like,
do life like that.
I know. I'm acknowledging it, though. Okay. And that's a good thing.
Good.
Being able to acknowledge that in the moment is a real positive.
It is. No, it honestly is a positive.
So if you want a glimmer of hope, even if you're not hopeful right now,
Okay.
the Kings had the 7th worst odds, right? Or 7th best, whatever. They were slated to be in the 7th position in the lottery. They jumped up to number 2.
When was that?
That part doesn't matter.
Oh,
that part doesn't matter. But you were able to jump up to number 2 and draft Marvin Bagley. But you jumped up to number 2, okay?
Yeah.
And then a few years back, you had the 7th best odds.
Okay.
And you jumped up to number 4 and got Keegan Murray. So
Okay.
it's possible. It's possible. And in recent years, we have seen it where the team that's got the worst odds is not necessarily landing the number 1 pick. You mentioned some of the teams have dropped to 5. I mean, Detroit had that season where they lost 28 in a row and they're picking 5.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, could we get Victor Wembanyama? And then it goes to the Spurs, who jump up, the Mavs, who jump up. You know, it seems like, at least in this era of the lottery, which could be the final year of this era, the worst teams are not necessarily getting the top picks.
No, it's that, but it's also like there's no Victor Wembanyama, there's no Cooper Flag. Now, what we feel in that AJ DeBonta could be, because I feel like he's closest to being that clear-cut number 1, just a modern day NBA style of play with his size and everything he can do out there, especially on the offensive end. And he's so efficient, shooting like 51% from the field. It's like, that is what you want, but you're only getting that if you land in that number 1 spot. After that, it's about just evaluating talent the right way. And I say after that, there's very good talent, but at the same time, like, is it you're trusting a 6'3" point guard that you really like that maybe could end up being like a Jalen Brunson or someone like that? Obviously, I'm talking about Acuff. Or is it going to be like a Cam Boozer that you just really believe in his fundamentals and what type of player he is? Like, there's going to be teams that pick one of these guys and still just have it wrong, whether it's not going to be the right situation for that specific player or it just like ends up being something where it's like, oh, their game didn't translate to the NBA. You hope that the top 10 players, all their games translate to the NBA. That's just not what track record shows too.
We've been watching a lot more college basketball this year, more than ever, because of how the Kings season started. You're like, okay, they're likely to have a good pick in this draft. And the guys I think we've been most focused on, and we still have a lot of work to do. Obviously, AJ, Cam Boozer, Darren Peterson, Caleb Wilson. Who am I missing? Darius Acuff. We've been watching the last few days, and like, my goodness, seeing a little bit of Keenan Wagler,
Kingston Flemings,
a little bit. I need to watch more of him. A little more Nate Ament.
Ament, that's the one.
And there's some other guys we need to pay attention to.
For
but
sure.
Darius Acuff.
6'3" point guard.
Scary. I really like him. And I think the conversation about him is going to be fascinating around the draft because everyone immediately points to his size.
Correct.
And they look at him as a defensive liability. And there are some things defensively that you see for sure. The question is, will his offensive firepower overpower some of the defensive issues he may have? I do think sometimes we act like 6'3" is 5'10". 6'3" is not like small, he's extremely strong, but he's got a burst. He's athletic. I think the thing that jumps out to me, he's just got a toughness about him, the shot making, but then it's also watching him today. Like, you put the ball in his hands, especially late in this game with the game on the line. He made every right play. Like, he wasn't going, I need to take the big shot here. It's a close game. He was making sure to feel out that double team. Even if he was like pounding the ball a little bit, he would make a move, draw that help a little bit, and find an open teammate.
Because he is such a threat offensively, because he is so explosive, that you'll see the defense just kind of sinking even just a little bit, even if he takes those 2 hard dribbles toward the middle, which makes the defense goes, oh God, we got to help, which allows him to make a perfect, precise pass across court or just to the next person, where it allows them to have a better looking shot or a better look to make a move and put the ball on the floor. And he does that a lot with just his presence out there. And so, like, every time I've watched him play, like, I'm such a dick because I'm like, God, but you're 6'3" and I don't think I can do that.
And I think a lot of people have brought that up.
Absolutely.
You know? I mean, there are 6'3" guys who have existed in the league. You know, Jalen Brunson.
And that's right.
Tyrese Maxey is not like the biggest guy ever.
For sure.
I mean, who else? You know, Dame Lillard. You know, sometimes we're aiming for perfection from these guys when it's like, all right, do they have an elite skill set? Like, do you believe that his offense can be elite at the next level? That's going to be the question. I think he has a 3-point shooting. He's got the big shot capability. He has he could break down his man. He could get into the paint and put pressure on the rim. And he's got tremendous feel. Defensively, could he be targeted? Yeah. And that's, I think, the other thing that people look at is like, okay, yeah, but Deuce, you didn't mention Trae Young. Like, and Trae Young might be this great offensive player, but if you're, you know, a huge, massive liability defensively, your ceiling as a team, if that's your guy, is going to be limited.
And you've seen trends in the NBA kind of go away from that too. And that's why, like, I hate to talk about it like that, especially with the player so good, but he's the type of player that needs to be drafted to a team that already has enough good players, I feel like, because whatever they can clean up for some of his flaws, or I guess lack thereof, on the defensive end, right, of what he can't do because of his size, like, that's what type of team I think he would excel on. He's also just not on a good defensive team. That doesn't help his cause, although they made some big defensive plays today. Yeah. No, and so anyway, I think it's like such a a fair conversation, but when you're talking about the Sacramento Kings in this market, when you can't get free agents, you need to make sure you're getting size.
Yeah.
Like you have to have size, because at the end of the day, you can sign Dennis Schroeder at the beginning of a season, even next year, probably. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like my point is, like, there's always going to be those type of players that are going to be floating around.
I get it. Everyone wants a 6'7" to 6'9" guy
6'9".
can shoot the ball well from three, defend, put the ball on the floor, and play make. Like, yeah. That'd be great, but there aren't a lot of those guys around, you know? And so...
that's why we get the anxiety.
Yeah, in the chat, who is this? Jersu? I'm probably messing that up, and I've messed it up before, my bad. They write, Darius Acuff, great shooter off the catch and the dribble, ridiculous assist-to-turnover ratio. You have to look at what a prospect can do for you as opposed to just what they
100% agree. And because that's something I say all the time. I go, we need to stop looking at just their flaws and look at what they can do. 100%. And I think because I talk to Deuce so much about how much I love Darius Acuff, like not on camera, that I am right now kind of just like analyzing what I don't like.
We're just talking, and I mean, the questions about his size are questions that NBA evaluators are going to have during this whole process. But I think how he played in that SEC tournament, just incredible stuff. You know, and he's done it all year. It's not like he just popped off now. It's just now, you know, the lights are brighter now. We're talking about SEC tournament now, going into March Madness. What could he do then on the biggest of stages? And he's been doing it consistently. You know, someone like Kingston Flemings is also interesting in a different way. I don't know if he's got that offensive firepower quite yet, but, you know, the size and his ability to defend definitely pops more as a two-way threat.
That totally pops more. I mean, and because he's just a long body, and he's obviously on a really good defensive team. And so
that team is unbelievable defensively.
And it's when you watch them defensively, especially against Kansas the other day, I mean, they just swallowed everyone up. Like, it didn't matter where Darren Peterson was on the floor.
That defense against Kansas, I mean, that's what Houston does. They defend.
Yeah, but I guess like where we look at like how that can help Kingston Flemings is that, like, God, well, he's a part of that. So he's a piece of that 5-man puzzle on the floor when those good things are happening defensively. And so when you look at a defensive guard like him with good size and what he can do on the offensive end, it gets you a little bit excited, especially knowing that the Kings could be picking, you know, top 10 and not really top 5.
Don't say 10 ever again, okay? A 10. Right now, the worst would be 8. Do not say 10
How many more times do they play Brooklyn?
I will say this. I am enjoying having draft conversations before March Madness.
Me too.
Because I feel like this is the most locked in we've been with watching some of these prospects. And we still have more work to do. But by draft time, we're going to be like ready to go. Well, and I've enjoyed it because the talent level is outrageous. AJ DeBonsa,
oh my God,
for me, is at this stage the clear-cut number one.
Same.
6'9", 6'10". Some people think he's closer to 6'10".
Yeah.
And again, I think one of the more impressive things about some of these guys that, you know, you look at top 5, I think Acuff's an interesting case real fast, because I think some people after this stretch are like, dude, I could see him number 2. And others are going, no, like 11th because of his size, right? But my point is, whether it's Acuff, Boozer, or AJ DeBonsa, I feel like the guys are talking about, the feel for the game pops.
Oh, yes. And making the right reads, that's something that we've talked about with
which is interesting, because so many people shit on American players nowadays. Like, oh, they don't know how to play the right way, you know? And it's like, the guys I'm watching, they look like they can play the right way.
They're 19 years old.
Yeah, they're 18, 19 years old, learning the game still, and seeing how like AJ has dealt with double teams at times. I mean, Cam Boozer has been seeing triple teams. His game yesterday was probably one of the worst games he had this season. He was getting blocked left and right, which some of the Cam Boozer haters were like, oh, like this is what we've been talking about. I'm very eager to see how he plays in March Madness, Duke having one of the best teams in college basketball with a legit chance to potentially win a title this year. But these guys that we're talking about have incredible feel for the game.
Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, I know when we were watching the beginning of the year, and we're watching some of these guys play against these bad teams or teams you don't really know of, you're just going, okay, well, they're doing this against some of these bad teams. And then as you keep watching throughout the season and you see them do it against some of the better college teams or college teams that are known for their defense or wherever they rank, it has been more fun to watch as of late, especially when you see those moments of making the right play. And usually like the right read ends up being these unselfish plays that you're seeing from these big names that are known and people are going, they're going to be top NBA draft prospects, but they're still making the right pass with 20 seconds left in a game instead of taking a forced shot to be the hero.
Yep.
They understand team basketball, and it's like to be that young but to be that aware, it just makes me excited about some of these
some
picks.
of the passes they make. I mean, Cam Boozer's passing ability is really special.
Fantastic. I mean, same with Acuff though. Oh my god, slinging that thing around.
But you expect that from a guard sometimes, right?
Sure.
So to see Cam just make the decision so quick, like that double team comes or the triple team, or he's just reading how the defense
someone's
is
on a
shifting.
back door and he's just making it quick.
Yeah.
Like there's no hesitation. So then it allows that player that's making that backdoor cut to have a wide open shot still. And so, yeah, high IQ players, high level processors. I mean, it's what I've been able to see. I would never want to be a scout for an NBA team because like I truly think I have good feel of like what type of player I would want on a team, especially if I got in a room and interviewed some of these guys. Like there's so much more than just what they can do on the floor. It's what they want to talk about as well.
Well, and I was talking to someone who has been to draft combines. I'm actually thinking about going this year just to watch some of the stuff because of what's on the line here. Just
I want to
for fun.
stop by, but
It's in Chicago this year. But apparently the process is, I think, from my understanding, the teams get to talk to 10 players. Like they pick out 10 players they get to sit down and talk with.
love.
And it's like speed dating. They don't have a lot of time, but they're trying to get to know these players fast. They may ask them about what kind of play they can draw up late in the game.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it. But they don't get like, they're not spending hours with these people. So it's like, it's speed dating. And then in addition to that, you hope that if you've got a good pick that you're able to get some of these guys to come visit you in Sacramento and either work out or at least meet more people and talk to for like a longer period of time.
I saw this clip just randomly like on TikTok or something about this person talking about just jobs in general and how there's jobs that will have that personality hire where this hire doesn't necessarily have the skill sets like at the highest level of everyone, but it's a personality hire because they know what it could do for the entire team in the office or in that department or whatever else. And they talk about how like the statistics of how important it is. And I'm not acting like that is what obviously the Sacramento Kings need to do, but I'm saying when teams go about interviewing some of these people, why the personality and the character of that person is so very important to how a team and a culture can grow together and what the statistics show, even in just a workplace.
I'm laughing because right now the chat, there's like a back and forth where people are naming elite NBA talent that went like in the late lottery, you know, or like outside of that. One brings up Jokic, Kawhi, Giannis, Steph at 7, you know, like all these things. And then other people are like, what about LeBron, #1? But someone I was thinking about a little bit, because Victor Wembanyama, the Kings' next opponent, the Spurs coming to town, brought this up, is he goes, I think he had a comment, I'm paraphrasing here, that he felt like Steph Castle should have been the #1 pick in that draft. Ricochet went in #1 in that draft. Castle went 4.
He sure did.
Holy shit. And that's, again, lottery luck a little bit, right? Where, you don't get #1. The Spurs pick 4. They're probably not thrilled about being at 4 then. But then you pick the right guy.
Yep. I mean, you and I would have picked him at #1.
Dude, the second I saw him at the California Classic, I was blown away.
He was it.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you
but
are.
Again, what the thing on him was like, but I mean, he can't really shoot. Look at what he could do. I mean, this guy was like 17, 18 years old,
Yep.
going through NBA size, finishing at the rim, and defending his ass off.
And look at even like Con Knipple being picked for even this year.
Yeah,
It's like,
you're
you know,
right.
people talking about, well, what can't he do on the defensive end? Well, he can make good reads, even if he's not the most athletic, but he can shoot the shit out of the basketball. He's a big body. I mean, it's, again, when you're getting in the room with these guys, when you're seeing what they do as a teammate, as a team player, as just a basketball junkie, all those things got to come into play. What?
I just love that we have spent a lot of this podcast dealing with the feelings of lottery anxiety. And now we're talking some draft prospects that we like, some of the things that pop to us, all the other angles. And the chat, I'm feeling the ups and downs with it tonight. Like, people are all over the place tonight. For example, we've got one here about that time 2024 says, hey, sorry guys, I just got here. Anxiety doesn't even describe it. This is literally the worst thing they can do. They can't win right. They can't lose right. Here comes the number 9 pick, folks. Maybe.
Ooh, look at
Mr.
this
Race-
one. Oh, what? You go.
Mr. Ray says 9th pick again for the Kings. Oh, baby, get the popcorn.
Someone randomly brought up Deuce and Mo were in love with Scoot Henderson.
Dude, yes, you're right. You're right.
Definitely
I will
was.
say this. That was someone that we saw G League Ignite, and I was
Oh,
like, dude, this guy is
my.
17. He looks like a grown man out there. Although, to be clear, Scoot's been playing some better basketball as of late for Portland. But yeah, I mean,
bloomer,
the
maybe?
injuries and the swing skill for him is like, can you shoot the basketball?
Yeah.
It's
Been a couple years now, so
By the way, not the first time I'm going to be wrong.
yeah. I mean, still really like him
Yeah.
as a person and everything else, and just as a hard worker.
Dude.
But like, yeah, can he stay healthy? Can he shoot? Absolutely. There's gonna be those flaws.
I legit thought he was like a can't miss guy, and you know,
What
that's
if-
another thing. Another guy who was kind of undersized too.
And what if he goes to another team and it's just like a different coach, a different, like developing under a new coach, a new system, and everything else like ends up working for him? You just never know.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not giving up on him. Something else I was going to say too, make sure you get to the super chats.
I will. Tamale says, man, fuck all that lottery shit. If these young guys keep developing as the Kings look for a direction, I'll take the win. Like, I understand the odds and shit, but I never expect them to just lose. Yeah, I would say that the most positive things recently, the Kings during the stretch of winning, whether you like winning or not, I'm just talking about literally from an identity standpoint, the offense looks a lot better. You know, I think they have moved the ball so much better. I think Maxime Raynaud's ability to make plays out of the short roll
Oh my God.
has been fantastic. And they'll have side pick and rolls, and he's been reading it so much. And one of the things that has changed is, you know, when he was initially doing the pick and rolls, he'd have that floater every time.
Every time.
Well, now, you know, the adjustment after teams are scouting him more, understanding his game, they want to take that away. So they're up more, right? So you don't want to take like an 18-foot floater. It changes, and you have to read it. Well, Max is now starting to adjust to the scouts. And one of the things he's doing is, hey, man, we're on that pick and roll. If I got a good angle, I'm going to force that help off the corner to come over. And I've either could do I can hit that corner, or like last night against the Clippers, the guy in the corner was Precious Acuff, who cut to the basket, and Raynaud lob.
Baseline
Beautiful.
cut, let it float up vertical for him to play above
He had
the
another
rim.
play where he had a side pick and roll where he put pressure on the defense. The help came off Precious, who was in the dunker spot, and he got a bounce pass right around the Precious Acuff, who missed at the rim, who got fouled.
There was another one last night where it was super high pick and roll, and I believe it was with Russ last night, and he just did like a little tap screen. Russ got him, little pocket pass, and he was at the high post, like not low enough for anything. The help came over, but the help came over from the wing, which was Nick Clifford's guy. When the help came over, he made such a quick pass. It wasn't even like, it was almost like a touch pass. It straight to Neek. Neek, one momentum dribble, shot the three. And it was just like reading the game at such a high level and seeing his growth from like making those adjustments is so cool to see. And by the way, he was the 42nd pick in the draft, which always like does have me encouraged with like some of the talent evaluators within the Sacramento Kings organization right now. I'm excited just to see where that can go now into this draft.
Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at this stage, right? Is finding the growth from those young guys.
Yeah.
And I think Max's offensive upside is there for sure. Even last night, he took a couple of long twos. His foot was on the line in the corner, but not hesitating. And there was one where it was a Russ and Precious Acuff pick and roll.
Yeah.
Okay. And Max was in the paint. Right when that pick and roll action happened,
Yeah.
he popped out to the corner. And then Precious was the guy on the short roll making the pass to Max, I believe. No, sorry. It wasn't Precious. It might have been Russ with the skip pass.
Okay.
Either way, it was just like his feel for the game and reading the game the right way was beautiful.
And I love that we finally got to talking about last night's game. Not last night, but tonight.
Yeah. And Max tonight, more quiet night with the scoring. 8 points. He had 12 rebounds, 4 of 8 shooting. I think it's been tough with him without Russ. Russ, the only point guard the Kings had tonight, Killian Hayes.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. All right, we got more of the podcast coming up. I want to get to a couple of super chats real fast, Morgan. Wow, we got a few here. GDM always with the super chats. Appreciate him.
Thank you.
Donating $7. GDM says Nick fouls out of his first NBA game. Proud moment, laughing. You guys have jinxed yourselves with AJ talk every day. Now the Kings are winning. It's karma. Also said, if the beam is lit, we need our smoke and music.
Oh,
People want
God.
that. Jesse James donates $17, a really random number, but it's much appreciated, and just writes, Lawrence Funderburk.
Wait, what number was Lawrence Funderburk?
51.
Oh, thank you. Wow, good memory.
Look, man. Sicko.
I was making yeah, I guess. But thank
Good
you
old
so
Larry
much.
Bear, Larry Funderburk. Angelo has been a member for 42 months, saying, let him win a few. They lost
you.
like 30 in a row. This is 16. Bad News Sour Grapes donates $5, saying, Hayes is still a youngster. I'm glad we threw him a bone. He might end up being a dog. What do you guys think about his new contract?
Ooh.
All right, we'll talk about that coming up. We should mention that we're presented by our friends at Sentivo Vineyards and Winery.
The best of the best. And you can go to sentivovineyards.com and check out exactly what we're talking about. I mean, every single wine that they make is absolutely delicious. They have a champagne that you could be popping bottles for the NBA draft lottery on Mother's Day with your mom. I mean, and if you are looking for a good gift for Mother's Day, like order some bottles.
I think the Valkyries play on that day. You might be busy on draft lottery day. I might be by myself here. Who would I invite over? Who's good luck? Who could replace you? Do I just find some
That's
random
so
person?
messed up, dude.
Well, not replace you, but sub you out. Anyway, we'll talk about that coming up. Actually, that's another thing we need to talk about.
So make
what
sure-
do we do with the draft lottery? Maybe I invite a fan over. We have a lottery for a fan.
That's not funny. I want to be a part of everything. Stop. You can phone me in. Make
Sentivo
sure
Winery.
to go to sentivovineyards.com. They're the best.
And we're presented by our friends who are at
Medic Ambulance. Woo, woo. We've teamed up with Medic Ambulance, the trusted name in emergency medical services across Northern California. From life-saving responses to being the team behind the scenes at your favorite events, Medic is here to serve. Learn more at medicambulance.net.
Appreciate their support of the podcast. Yeah, what do I do lottery night? I don't know.
That's wait. So is it? I wasn't gonna hit you. Like,
don't
why'd
know.
you flinch?
You just give me that energy sometimes. Yeah.
Is my game at 7 in the lottery at what time? Because see, that could make a big difference. I could zoom in.
Yeah, I think it's the Valkyries like home opener, by the way.
Oh dear God.
Let's see.
Better
Valkyries.
If they're even playing,
Okay, stop it.
they better.
They are going to. They'll get a deal done.
They better.
It is the home opener, which is Sunday, 5:30. That's around the same time that the lottery will be, 5:30 Sunday, I'm guessing. Hey, look, man. I'll be dealing with the pain who would I invite over? I just find some other woman named Morgan.
That'd be kind of funny.
Deuce and Mo. She's
It's
like,
what is
what?
basketball?
What is
Like, I
this?
don't do this crap. No, I think no, because I will have FOMO. No, you sit here and you wait till I'm back. God damn it.
Oh,
You'll be live.
Yeah,
You'll be
yeah,
live.
yeah.
I know you will be live, but like I think when I come back, back from San Francisco, I think we do a pod later that night.
Oh, for sure. The other question of the night, people were wondering, who's more to blame for the Kings hotness lately at 6 and 5.
Okay.
Is it DeMar DeRozan for playing out of his mind, 107 points the last 3 games? Is it Killian Hayes, who since he has arrived in Sacramento has done nothing but one? Killian Hayes, since he's been a member of the Sacramento Kings, has seen 6 beams. 6 and 5 since he's been a member of the Sacramento Kings. Or is it, like someone in the chat said, Matt George for pissing off Russell Westbrook?
Matt George wishes. That little shit thinks he has anything to do with that. That's so funny. I say it to his stupid face.
Also, super chat Shnoa donates $5. Deuce, I was a Twitter call out last night. Respectfully, I do watch and I do understand the woosah not stressing. At least the USA won tonight. Yeah,
that's
and the
so
world.
sweet. No,
Yeah,
thanks.
Well, he hit me up on Twitter and went on this huge rant.
What was the rant?
Well, since
was
he brought it up.
Oh, okay.
And it was fine. Look, I think it was about 7,000 words he wrote to me, but I was caught by the first one, and it kind of just annoyed me.
Why was it?
No, we had a good conversation after.
Okay.
And it was fine. I just want to find it real fast. It's amazing how much of my replies lately have been like, yes, I know how the lottery works. I understand what it means. Yeah, I get it. Thank you so much.
Jesus. Maybe just go to your replies.
Oh, here he goes. Noah, can't wait for Deuce Mason and company to tell us how he is glad we won and won't worry about the tank till we are out of it. Can't hide behind DeMar and Russ playing 36 plus minutes tonight. This franchise deserves to suck forever. They bring it on themselves. Pathetic.
Noah.
That's how I read it. That's how I read it.
Well,
How do you think he really said it?
I kind of got that
Okay,
energy.
okay, good.
Yeah.
And so I said, no, you clearly don't listen. If you do, you're not comprehending what I've said. I never said not to worry. I said I'm choosing not to get pre-mad, and I'm hoping for the best. I know how wins impact the lottery. And then he was really nice after
And
that.
I saw some of the comments after, and Noah, it's the passion is understood.
Yeah.
Approach is everything too, though. Like if people want to have a conversation, so that's why it's very kind of you to even say that tonight, and we appreciate the passion too.
Sean says, I will sacrifice Deuce's veneers for a top 2 pick. I'll be honest. I said I would do almost anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no.
Can you imagine? I just said, all right, screw it. Let's go back to my old face.
Oh my God, no, like you guys, the smile gave him confidence in life to become Deuce Mason, to live the life he needed to live.
Oh, man.
I love that you would give up like your toe and like
I said
all
the pinky.
Oh, the pinky. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Who do you think the butcher and barrel player of the game should be tonight? It's DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, I was going to say Killian Hayes.
Oh, that's nice of you. DeMar DeRozan, though, had 41 points, 11 assists on 11 of 21 shooting. He also was 18 of 21 from the free throw line. My goodness, was he trying to catch up to Bam Adebayo, who was 36 of 43 from the free throw line in his 83-point game?
Jeez, pretty close, right?
Butcher and barrel player of the game, DeMar DeRozan. I mean, he's been on an absolute heater, as we mentioned. His last 3 games, 39 of 57 from the field. That's 68%.
Damn. Make sure to go to Butcher and Barrel. It's 30 seconds away from Golden One Center, and they're always doing such a great job of posting all these amazing dishes that they have. They have some of the best food. They are run by the best people. And if you go on a game day, $39 for a burger, a shot, and a beer. And it's like not just like, oh, it's a burger. It's a Wagyu beef burger. It's amazing. Go check them out. Butcher and Barrel.
Appreciate their support of the podcast. Killian Hayes. That was something that was brought up before we went to that break. What am I saying? Before we went into that break? This just brought up a few minutes ago. You get the point. Hey, it's just before the break.
Turn your dial up.
Killian Hayes
Yeah.
gets a 2-year deal with the Sacramento Kings. Pause. No, it wasn't a 2-year deal. Brief rant. These agents, God, they just love getting their ego stroked. Shams Charania puts out the tweet, identifies the agent and the agency, and says Killian Hayes signs a 2-year deal with Sacramento. All right. I mean, technically, I guess it is, except the deal is the rest of this season and non-guaranteed for next year. If my agent called me and said, Deuce, I got some good news for you. Got you an NBA play-by-play gig. I got you a 2-year deal to do some games for
Cavs.
Yeah, the Cavs. Oh my God, I have to move. That'd be a lot to process.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That really? Yeah, you're doing the rest of this season, and you might be back next year. Of course, be excited by the opportunity, but that's not a real 2-year deal.
Think about it. You're like, oh yay, I have 13 more games this season, but it's not guaranteed you'll be back. But you do have to move out there and everything else. No, that's exactly it. And so, like, you know, even when people were like, I was asked on the post-game show, like, were you surprised? I'm like, well, no, because obviously it's like a, yeah.
You just lost your train of thought.
I did.
Yeah, you should focus on.
How did you see that?
Because I could see you reading that
Well,
chat.
I know I lost my train of thought when you did that.
Oh, no.
Anyway, though, I was just basically saying the same thing that you were saying. It's like that second year's not. Oh, I was saying Isaac Jones had the same deal last year.
It happens a lot this time of year. So anyway, Killian Hayes is signed for the rest of this season, and he was coming off 2 10-day contracts. How it works is after 2 10-day contracts, you either bring them back for the rest of the year or you let them walk. So the Kings saw enough from Killian Hayes in those 2 10-day contracts to go, you know what? We're banged up. We've got a hole at that point guard spot right now. Let's go ahead and sign him for the rest of the year. Plus, let's just see what he has. He has upside. And to be honest, Killian Hayes played well tonight. It was good to see him knock down some shots.
Oh, my God.
That's been the biggest thing that's been holding him back in his NBA career. It's literally the thing that is preventing him from being a full-time NBA player on a team, like a rotational guy, is his inability to consistently hit from the outside. He showed some great strides in the G League this year, even a little bit last year. He hasn't shown it so far in Sacramento, but I think the things that have popped out to me, his playmaking in his 11 games with Sacramento, 41 assists, 10 turnovers. He's got good size. What has jumped out to you about Killian Hayes?
I mean, the size, obviously, especially on the defensive end, being able to pick up 94 feet if he needs to. You know, you see him make some mistakes, and I don't know if sometimes they're like young mistakes from him, whether he has the ball in his hands or it's even on the defensive end. But overall, like, I look at what his potential, and not only because he's shown what he could do in the G League, but at the next level, being on this team for however many games it's been now with Killian Hayes. I think he's done a really good job of just trying to find his flow without trying to do too much. Because I remember in that first game, he went to Chuck City right away.
I think he was like, I have to prove tonight that I could be in the NBA forever. And it was just like, oh, he's just
I got 10 days.
After 3?
Yeah.
After 3. Tonight, his best game as a King. He ended up playing 38 minutes in the start. Westbrook didn't play. He ends up with 16 points. He had 8 assists. The number that probably is surprising to most everyone, 4 of 6 from 3.
Yeah.
4 of 6 from 3. The Kings hit 11 of 36. 4 of those threes tonight made by Killian Hayes.
Yeah. And he would have 5 if I think there was one
An
where
offensive foul was called on Neat Clifford, right?
Underneath the
dish.
basket.
Yep.
Yep. And so whatever it is that he is working on, that he is doing, whether it's confidence or mechanics, it's working for him, and just keep going in that direction.
And for Sacramento to sign him the rest of the year and non-guaranteed for next year, to me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, he's still just 24 years old. The Kings are in a period where they are looking toward the future, right? They're trying
stay
to
cheap, stay
get
young.
off some of these contracts at some point, hopefully have a good draft pick and building it out. Why wouldn't you take a swing on someone that, he didn't make it in this first spot in the NBA, but is there enough there that he could make it in this league? The swing skill is going to be the jump shot at the end of the day. If he can knock it down on a somewhat consistent basis, I think he is good enough to make it in this league.
I'm with you on that.
But that's going to be the question. J Street Dental moment of the game, Morgan. Okay, one comes to mind immediately.
What?
It's not like a super positive one or anything.
But let's hear it.
Dylan Cardwell gets a rebound.
Oh.
Okay. And he didn't really have a clean pass. So he brought the ball up.
And I loved that.
The confidence, right?
Oh my gosh. It's something that you just hadn't seen from him so far.
It was just a funny moment. And then it was a freeway
Yep.
all the way to the rim.
Rim to
I'm
rim.
like, oh God, here comes an epic jam. A defender kind of came over late. And at the last second, he leaves his feet and he kicks it to the corner for a 3-ball. I was stunned by it, and I got worried because I'm like, was his ankle bugging him? Did he have a flat tire? Did he feel like he couldn't complete the dunk?
Yeah.
Like, what happened on that?
I know. Was it a mental thing or
Yeah.
was it even like you said an ankle thing? But he said it the other day at practice, like I wouldn't come back if I wasn't 100%. So I don't think it was anything ankle related. I think it was truly like he just got the yips at the basket and was like, holy shit, maybe I don't have it. Maybe I don't want this moment. But like he won't do that again. That's what I'll say. He will not do that again. You know, they're looking back at that and being like, why the fuck did you not done that? And
I don't know what happened. There's something that went off in his head, or I don't know. I want to ask him about that.
It was funny though, because I did text you after that moment and I said, wow, that was awesome. And because I
answered WTF? Like, what? Why didn't he dunk the ball?
And it was just more me looking at the improvement and the growth of him feeling confident, dribbling from rim to rim, when there was a time, even in the G League at the beginning of the season, that he would get the ball at the high post and wouldn't even take one power dribble, you know? So...
Also, Joe, it's a nice Cardwell interview. Thank you. For those who did not watch it yet, we sat down, a conversation with Deuce and Mo. It's on the Sacramento Kings YouTube page. We sat down with Dylan Cardwell for almost an hour, got to know him. It was a really great conversation. Highly recommend you check it out if you haven't done it yet. Another moment that was brought up real fast. Ash, this is a great one. How about Precious Acuff getting called for a traveling?
Yeah.
And then the next play, the steal and the jam, and then he looked to the official and taunted him back, giving the travel motion. He didn't get a technical for it either. The official laughed. That was hilarious. The petty, precious moment.
I loved it. The petty, precious moment. Put that down. The petty, precious.
Yes. Okay.
Those are our J Street Dental moments of the game, enriching lives and enhancing smiles. Head to jstreetdentalgroup.com. You can also check out their sister office, Sacramento River Dental. And yes, there are Deuce and Mo podcast listeners that have signed up. Haven't run into anyone yet because I'm not going in there every other week for a cavity right now, but I'll have my cleaning in the next 4 months.
Also wrote down DeMar DeRozan, of course, with 41 points in this game. Next up, the Kings play the San Antonio Spurs.
Yes.
That's coming up on Tuesday. I did want to ask you this. It's a brief game called Who Said That?
Okay.
The quote, the inflammation in my body is basically down everywhere except for one place.
Ew.
The inflammation in my body is basically down everywhere except for one place. Who said that?
I'm assuming a man said this.
Yeah, man.
Because only a man would.
Okay.
Gross. It's not Victor Wembanyama.
Let's go to Victor Wembanyama.
Is that beneficial? Sure. Yeah. The inflammation in my body is basically down everywhere except in one place.
Okay, a couple of things. He said it with a smirk on his face, but no one laughed. Either they didn't get the joke or they did not find it funny. But Victor Wembanyama said that, Morgan Reagan.
Yeah, beneficial. Sure. The inflammation in my body is basically down everywhere except in one place. What would that one place be? Probably my ankle. Okay. Yeah.
He said probably my ankle.
Okay, I think he was making a joke.
No.
That's how I read it. Am I wrong?
I think you're wrong. I think you're the weirdo that went
God.
there. Oh my God.
I'm not alone on that.
Thank
you guys
God
know what I'm talking
I heard
about?
that.
You guys,
Deuce, you're so weird. That is so immature and weird. Like, how old are you? How old are you? That is not, that's not what he was saying at all. And now that I saw the clip, as soon as he said the quote, I'm like, oh, some gross, dirty man. And no, it's your stupid, dirty man brain.
I hope the chat has my back on this.
Do not have his back on this. You better not, because you're not going to win this debate.
Jordy says you're definitely wrong, Deuce.
Yeah. Deuce. Oh, my God.
All right, dude. A couple people saying Deuce is right. Now I'll go with those people. Next up, the Kings take on the Spurs. Okay, my bad. All right, my bad. Hand up. That's mine. That's on me.
Like, you're bad times 100. How the fuck did you screw that one up? Like, did you actually, you heard what you wanted to hear was some like dark, sick joke, like, haha, immature man joke, blah, ha, ha, ha. That was your brain. And this is why women should rule the world. Go on.
Kings and Spurs
Oh,
coming up on
God.
Tuesday. This San Antonio team is obviously really good. A team that, I think people expected to be good. I don't know if people expected that, hey, they were going to have a chance to win a championship this year. They are right now in the number 2 spot in the Western Conference, sitting at 49-18. They are 3.5 behind Oklahoma City for that number 1 spot. They do play tomorrow. They will be playing the LA Clippers. They will be on the second night of a back-to-back once they play the Sacramento Kings. But it's a chance to see Victor Wembanyama and Max go toe-to-toe. And, of course, De'Aaron Fox returning to Sacramento.
Hey, with the way that the Sacramento Kings have been playing, you never know what could happen in this game, huh? I love the way that your brain was processing that. It's kind of true, but let's be real.
The
Yes,
Spurs
I
obviously have
know.
been on a roll. Let's see officially where they're at overall. So, oh my goodness, look at this stretch.
Oh my God.
So they on February 1st, they were 33-16. Okay.
Uh-huh.
They are now 49-18.
And we're in March
They have lost
14th.
twice since February 1st. Their losses
Whew.
to the Knicks, that was a game that just was
Oh
not
my
pretty.
God.
An early game at Madison Square Garden where they lost 114-89. Since then, wins over Philly, Detroit, the Clippers. They put a $145 up on Houston. They beat Boston 125-16. They lost to Denver 136-131. And they beat Charlotte 115-102. That loss to Denver, by the way, worth noting, Victor did not play in that game.
And Castle had a triple-double?
Dude, I mean, they're a team
Jeez.
that is disgusting.
Yeah.
And we've talked so much about what Victor has meant, but it's a team that plays with great physicality.
Yeah.
They're together. I think Steph Castle's emergent as a guy.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, that was one thing I never bought. No matter how many people said it, they're like, dude, they could have gone Steph Castle for De'Aaron Fox. There was no way the Spurs were going to do that. And now you see why they would not do that. Who knows what this team's going to be long term. They still have Dylan Harper, too, who's really good.
He's out, right?
Do you feel like this team can win a championship, or is it honestly, hey, I need to see them in a first round series first, because they haven't done it yet?
Yeah, in some ways, but I feel like every game that I watch them play in some of these big games, like against OKC all year long, against Denver, they play like it's a playoff game. Like they approach it like it's a playoff game with their physicality and just like look, Victor was crying 2 weeks ago after a resilient comeback win against the Mavs because it just felt so good to get that dub. And he has so much passion and love for the game every single night. And so I guess my point to that being is I wouldn't doubt them, but I think I still have more faith in a team like OKC because I'm going to go with track record, them doing it just last year and,
Just so you know, the comeback one was actually over the Clippers.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, over the Clippers, not the
Yeah.
Mavs. Thank you so much for correcting that.
No, I just for if someone was going to do it in the comments, it might as well be me real fast.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they can definitely win a championship. I think Victor Wembanyama is that good.
Oh, so you think like this year for sure?
I'm not going to say they're for sure going to do it.
So you're just putting it
I'm
right now.
saying
You're
that
saying,
they have a legit chance.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm still with OKC right now because
same.
they have done it. Like somehow Oklahoma City has like pushed off like the fact that OKC still has that number 1 spot with what we just detailed, how the Spurs have been playing
Yeah.
since February 1st, just on a mission. Like De'Aaron did not have a good month, and then now he's playing some really good basketball for them. But OKC is still up there.
Yeah.
And they're up there because SGA is unreal. And they've been banged up. How many guys have been in and out of the lineup?
that
From Chet
Caruso,
to Hardenstein, Jalen
Williams.
Williams. Like it's crazy how much AJ Mitchell missed time, yet they're still there.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it is. And that's why I'm so excited for the playoffs. So excited.
Also, SGA streak almost came to an end
But
today.
it
Do you remember I
didn't?
told you?
Yeah, you were like, oh, it's going to come to an end today. They only have like however minutes left.
Dude,
many.
he started like 4 of 19. But against Minnesota, They got the win 116-103 today. SGA got to 20 points and 10 assists. He scored on a step-back jumper against Anthony Edwards with 1:46 remaining, according to ESPN. And he was fouled. It was an and one opportunity.
Oof.
Is that crazy? So he moved past Wilt's old mark, of course, of 126 with 20+ in a game. Pretty incredible stuff.
That's wild. What a wild streak.
Whoa, we just got a big super chat.
I know. I thought we had a couple. Oh.
Ramjack donated $50. Are you kidding me?
Wait, thank you.
Appreciate that so much. Appreciate that. Players should, of course, do everything to win. Management at this point should do its best to get the highest pick. It is in the greatest interest of the franchise.
Yeah.
My question is, will Kings management shut down DeMar, Russ, and the winning? Thank you. Ramjack, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to shut down DeMar or Russ. I don't think Russ is going to be playing back-to-backs. They have one more back-to-back, I think, this season, and that's coming up the 28th and 29th. They play the Hawks and the Nets in a back-to-back, the second game of the back-to-back against Brooklyn. So I imagine Russell Westbrook would not play in that game. You're asking my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do it. I think we have seen this year that they don't do that.
Yeah. And it's crazy. And no.
DeMar's missed one game, and it was because he was sick.
It's only because he was sick. And it's kind of crazy to see when you obviously see other teams trying to go in that direction and play the game off the court and sit their guys or do whatever they need to do to make sure that it's whatever is in their best interest to put the organization in a good spot for the draft. Kings aren't doing that. It doesn't seem like they're doing that. And so it's something that we've been talking about all night long tonight, last night, that we're getting into this acceptance mode where we still feel uneasy about it. But at the same time, we're whoa, this is reality and they're not going to sit anyone. Yeah. So
if it was up to me, I would 100% have the conversation dude, we're in mid-March now.
Yes.
We have to scale it back. And if those guys are I want to play, okay, is there some give and take here? Hey, we're not going to play you every night. And when we play you, we're playing you 20, 25 minutes max. But I mean, if you've listened to the podcast all year long, I've been talking about playing those guys 25 minutes back in December.
Yeah.
Just because of where the season was at and trying to think big picture here. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like coming up here. But, I think tonight was an interesting test case. DeMar played tonight. Now, with that said, the Kings only had 8 players available.
Yeah.
In the NBA, you have to dress 8 players minimum.
Mm-hmm. And then Nick Clifford ended up fouling out as well.
So you were down to 7. However,
yeah,
just because you dress 8 doesn't mean you have to play.
Right.
8. So you could have technically dressed DeMar DeRozan and not played him
Absolutely.
if you were really into it. So they didn't have to do that. But Patrick Baldwin, Isaiah Stevens, their other two-way guys are on the road. They were playing in Austin today in a G League game.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. My final thoughts. Let me just say I really had fun on the podcast tonight. And maybe it's because we didn't start it at 12:30 or 1 a.m. We started at 10:30. For a second, I have a back-to-back. I felt really good about our conversation tonight. I think we talked about the anxiety. We highlighted some good. We talked some draft.
Had some immature jokes. We had a lot of fun.
Victor had an immature joke that I was highlighting. And I think the conversation in the chat was good. I think we all are on the same page. We all want a top 3 pick. And it's out of our control. So the thing I'm going to keep saying to the people who are beyond pissed right now is take a deep breath and
what else?
Don't waste your energy too much being angry. I saw one person, I saw a Reddit thread that I briefly dipped into tonight. It was I've been a fan since, whatever. I am done. Tonight did it for them.
Wow.
I understand the emotions and the feelings and the desperation to get a good pick. But just hold off a little bit. Let's see how the lottery shakes out.
Do what you want to do, but just friendly suggestions.
I'm just saying it for everybody's good. You know, it's good for it's basketball, man.
No,
we're going to make it through it. We've made it through a lot as fans, and we'll keep doing it. And hopefully there's going to be fun along the way. You can't be bad forever. It's impossible. I know it has felt like forever.
It sure
to some,
has.
you can't be bad forever.
I love it.
We love you guys, but we gots to go.
You all have a wonderful rest of your evening.
See ya.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.